Usually I just see girls. It's very uncommon to see guys, but I'm very happy to see them.
Yeah, me too. I think it's important
Yeah, of course.
to have them around.
Yeah, of course. It's everybody matters, so it's very
Yeah.
important.
Yes. So I think we can start. So for you that joined afterwards, my name is Ayane Fernandes. I'm from the EAG board at IFP School. I'm very happy to be here with you and to have the opportunity to listen to these amazing women, to discuss these amazing professionals, to discuss about the challenges and perspectives of women in geosciences and engineering. They will share their experience with us, from entry level to the leadership positions they occupy. And I'm sure that you are excited as I am to be here and to listen from them. So that's it from me. I guess you're here not to hear from me, but to hear from them. So let's get to it. So in this round table, we have the 5 participants: Maria Clara Costa from Equinor, Fernanda Campos Furtado, IFP School alumni, Mariana Alves from GPCI, Carola Vilauba from Total, and Nawal Defreslon from Basic Lab. And so for everybody to get to know you a little bit, the participants, could you please introduce yourself? Who would you like to start?
I can, if you like.
Yes.
So I do it quickly. My name is, as you said, Mariana Alves. I'm reservoir engineering and reservoir engineer. I'm Venezuelan and French. And I have been working in the industry, in the oil and gas industry since 2009, 2008, 2009, after I finished the AFP school. So, and also I went to the AFP school. So I'm working now as a reservoir engineer and project manager. And so I'm quite happy to see pretty faces here. And guys, as I said, I really like this very much.
Thank you, Mariana. You can continue, guys. Who would you like to go next?
Okay, I can go. So my name is Nawal Defrelon. I am a geophysicist. I'm working now for Basic Lab. So I've been working for Basic Lab for 3 years now, after graduated from IFP school as well. And so when I was at IFP school, I was part of the student chapter of EAG. So I'm happy to see that it's still ongoing.
Thank you.
So I will jump in. So my name is Carola Villalba. I'm from Venezuela. I work in Total. I've been working for Total for the past 20 years. International career. I'm working now as a petroleum architect, which is kind of a coordinating studies for the deep water product line. So coordinating multidisciplinary teams from geoscience up to surface, gas, renewables. I mean, we cover the entire change in the studies. I'm a chemical engineer as basic with a specialization in project management. And well, I've been jumping around the globe for the past 11 years, more or less 20, from the 20 that I work in Total. So it becomes more and more interesting every time. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for being here. Could you go next, Fernanda?
Yeah, of course. I was intending to be the last one just because after we have the PowerPoints, but I can be the next. So my name is Fernanda Campos Furtado. I'm Brazilian and I'm a geoscientist. I'm an ex-student from IFP. I just graduated in December from Petroleum Geosciences, PGS. And I also did geology in Brazil, from Rio de Janeiro State University. And I did part of my graduation outside Brazil too. I did it in California State University in the United States. And It's a really big pleasure to be here today. The gender equality matters is something that it's not just a personal fight, something that I do in my life for a long time. In Brazil, I have my own organization for girls and women in science. We promote events for stimulate female teenagers and children to do STEAM, to do science and technology. We do some lectures about that. And we also do lecture for everyone to talk about gender equality. And it's one of the reasons why I'm very glad to be here today. So thank you, EAGE and APG for the invitation.
Thank you, Fernanda. Could you go now, Maria Clara?
Yes, so I'm Maria Clara Costa. I'm a reservoir engineer on the petroleum background, originally electrical engineer back 20 years ago, and have been working in the oil and gas industry for 13 years now, working in different companies, Schlumberger, inside Petrobras, BG Group, and Equinor. So I'm currently heading the partner-operated licenses in Equinor, working towards Petrobras and Roncador field, and also the responsible for the IOR, increased oil recovery in Equinor, Brazil. Yeah. So very glad to be here. As Fernanda was saying, I'm also a very fan of this discussing the equality with different types of people. That's really, really important. Yeah. So for the ones that follow me on the social media, you see that normally I have some posts regarding that. Of women is special, of course, yeah, because I am a woman. I'm also very engaged with the Black people as my background as a family, and supporting LGBT and all types of different people that we have in the world. Yeah, so it's really, really important that we keep discussing that. Yeah.
Thank you very much, everyone. As you can see, we only have amazing professionals here. It's a pleasure to have you all here. In name of EAG and AAPG, I thank you very much for accepting our invitation for this roundtable. So for an introduction, Fernanda asked if she could share with us a presentation that's gonna be a very good introduction, and that's gonna show why we are here and why it's so important discussing this topic. So please, Fernanda, when you are ready, you can start.
Yeah. Can you see my screen? I'm already sharing that.
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. Just like standard question. Okay. So first of all, guys, we are here, me and these 5 amazing women, to share our experiences and our opinion regarding the gender diversity. But it's very important, you know, that is not just our personal experience, it's not just opinion, the subjects that we are talking right now. So I'm here to bring some statistics and some facts to help you guys to understand the situation of us women in the workplace. So first, the women in the workplace in a general scenario. Here is the global scenario for women in the workplace. We are 48% of the global labor force. So it's more or less equal, right? But when you go for more specific sectors, for example, the oil and gas sector, we are just 22%. So we can see there, it's not equal everywhere. We can see there, like, even if you don't talk about the levels, about seniority, we see that we have difference. And when you go for the renewable sectors, that is a bit more innovation, that is a bit more new in the market scenario. We are 32%, is also very unequal. And this is very important for us to remember these numbers when we will see the seniority levels. Because as I say, we are just 22% of the labor force in the oil and gas sector, but it's not equal for all positions. When you go for the entry level, it's 27%. It's already very bad. We can agree about that. Internships, trainees, graduates, around 27. But it's always decreased when we see the biggest positions. When you go for senior level, executive level, it's only 17%. And we go for CEOs, for directors, it's only 1%. And this is a data from the World Petroleum Council. It's a research, a really big research that they did with all companies of petroleum, oil and gas industry in the world, and these are the data. So maybe you guys did an internship and had the privilege to work with women, but you have to understand that it's pretty much exception women in the leadership in our industry. And that is some important information that you also need to know about gender equality. Sometimes we have this illusion that the things are improving, but when you go for statistics, it's not very true. McKinsey, it's a very good institute that it's a company and also an institute that do a report that is called Women in the Workplace. It's released every year. It's a very good report. And the report from last year was showing that we didn't have a lot of progress since 2015. It's having been equal regarding the women in the workplace. The levels in entry level into the seniority is not improving. And in 5 years, we are not having progress. So it's something that we have to be concerned about. If we are really changing something, or if we're just having marketing about change. And maybe the people that are from Europe, you feel that in the past years, in the past decades, we are having some advances in the women in these large economy countries. But actually, this is not totally true. We are having more women entering in the market, in the workplace, but they are not feeling the same security. They are not having the same pay. They are not having the same benefits. Women are right now getting into the workplace, but they are offer lower pays and fewer benefits. In US, for example, for each dollar that a man does, a woman does 80 cents. So we can feel this inequality even in the more advanced economies. And it's not just about payments. When you're in a male-dominated industry, as oil and gas, we're gonna feel the impacts when you're working there. Even if you broke every barrier to get there, you're gonna feel more impacts. For example, 28% of women working in dominated industries have experienced sexual harassment, which is a very serious situation. And in the other industries is usually around 20%. And you have to understand that these numbers, 28% and 20%, which is already very bad, they are not exactly the truth, because the statistics points that it's just 80% of the women that experienced sexual harassment or other kinds of violence in the workplace, they really report this kind of terrible situation. So this 28% is actually just the top of the iceberg. It's not the reality, it's probably way worse. And maybe the guys that are watching this presentation today, they are thinking, okay, this is just about the female, it's just about the women, it's not about me. I'm here just because I'm a nice guy and I'm supporting the girls. No, it's about the whole society. When you talk about the gender diversity, we have to understand that this is not just a social and a moral problem. It's also an economic problem. We are talking about also development and profits. For example, in a company, having diversity in your team means that you have different points of views. You're going to have different approaches for innovation, for solutions, for problem. And it's also good for the reputation of your company and also for the progress of your company, for the production of your company. So having diversity teams, if one day you're going to have your team, think about that. It will be important for your team. You have different points of views. You have gender diversity, racial diversity, it's very important. And if you talk about the production, the growth of a country, there is this data here that just closing the gender gap, not totally, but having a boost in the gender gap. We will see there we have the increase of GDP. We're going to have an increase in the global growth. We're going to have almost 12 trillions to the global growth. Just advancing women equality. If we closed completely, we reach 28 trillions to the global growth. So it's profitable. The gender diversity is important to the society in all matters. And if you go just for your company, you just matter to improve the profitability of your company. That is a study from the McKinsey Global Institute report that took several companies from the whole world, and they could observe that the companies who have more gender diversity, they experienced 21% above profitability than the average of the other companies. So invest in gender equality, in gender diversity is not something that is just our conversation, just women conversation. Everybody should be part of this conversation because it will be profitable for the whole society. And thank you guys. It's just 5 minutes to share for you some facts before we share our personal experiences.
Thank you, Fernanda, so much. This data, it's hard to see that even in 2021, it's still like that. So we have seen the statistics, but now I would like to hear from you, like from your personal experiences and about the underrepresentation of women in the oil and gas sector, in the geosciences and engineering sector. How have you experienced that? Who would you like to start and tell us your experience?
You know, statistics from my point of view, they're sometimes quite difficult to understand. If you look at the, I will say, desktop studies, you will see that the tendency that Fernanda just showed in terms of executive, woman executive, even for Total, it's in that range. Top 25% of executives are women. And even for the low levels or middle levels for the organization, it doesn't fit. But if you go to the operational sites, it's worse than that. If you go to the site, if you go to the operation itself, if you go to a site over you have 150 or 200 operators, now the ratio it's completely different. You have not even 1%. Is to 2 women in 150 guys working on a platform or working on an FPSO. So it's true that we need more managing women and we need more executives that can lead us and increase the diversity. But we also need medium and young professionals like you going out of the school to go and make an adventure and go to the site and work from the bottom to the top. And that it's an empowering and something that will make the journey much more interesting than just the statistic. The statistics says a lot, but when you go to the deeper on the numbers, it's a more dramatic story.
Yeah, I totally agree with Carola. This statistics is just to show the top of the iceberg, because who actually live this reality for us women in the industry, we can feel there is way worse. It's way worse. It's very hard to get accepted in the society because it's not because we don't want to go for the rig, we don't want to go for the platform. Sometimes they just don't accept our presence. They just don't think about getting interviews with female geoscientists, with female engineers. It's a very hard situation for us, because even when we want, like sometimes the company or not the company, the person, the hiring person doesn't think that is our job. I don't know about the other girls here, but I already listened to things like it's work under pressure doesn't fit for women. This work is too much pressure. And for me, it doesn't make any sense, because I don't think that is one person in like that is one situation in the world that like women doesn't deal with pressure. We were born in pressure. Like I think that the thing that the society does better to us is pressurize us every day in our lives. So I don't understand why companies think that we cannot work under pressure if we do like every day in our lives. And like I still listen to that. Like I'm gonna share this my personal experience. I just graduated in December and I just did 3 job interviews. I applied for more than 100 jobs. Just did 3. I just was invited for 3. And I had to listen this in 2021. This job is to work under pressure. So.
Well, but probably, if I may add something, based probably in the experience. I left the school in 2008, so a long time ago, I'll say. But at the beginning, when you're a young professional, you don't want to push the doors. You don't want to rush into the things. You don't want to pushy one. You don't want to be the pushy one. I invite you to be that pushy one. I invite you to knock the doors. I invite you to show that you can be out of your comfort zone. And I will share my personal experience. When I was young, I graduated first. Before going to the IFP school, I went to the UCB, which is just the Central University of Venezuela, Universidad Central de Venezuela in Caracas. And for academic merits, they give the opportunity to 2 persons to go to 1 rig during 3 months. Sadly for the guys, or I don't know if lucky for them, we were 2 women, 2 girls, we won. And for academic merits. So we went there. And the first day when we arrived, they were, like Carola was saying, like 60 guys and the 2 of us. So they did everything to make this experience awful for us on the first week. They hide the knife and everything that they were using to eat, for example, because they want us to eat with the hands. They put things in the platform so that we could was very slippery, so that we were afraid of going there. I mean, there were jokes, and during 1 week we just stayed there and we did our job, and we were taking notes and being quite serious. And if we have to eat with the hands, we will do it. They try to put us on an uncomfortable situation. And as we were 2, we were keeping each other. And we went through the whole week. And at the second week, the things start to appear. The guys were nicer. They were explaining things to us. And this experience lasted 3 months. At the end, they were almost crying when we were leaving. Because during 3 months, they see just 2 girls, which were quite excited of being there. They wanted to learn. We did so many questions. We participated to every single operation during the night. And they were laughing with us. At the very end, we were looking at the movies when the operations were stopped for any mechanical reason. So at the very end, I think it was useful for us and for them, because they saw that we were able to be there. Actually, we won this opportunity. So I wasn't, in my personal experience, I wasn't ready to let anyone to remove that from me, because I won that. So even if you listen to, no, you cannot do it under pressure. I don't see yourself in this position. Don't let yourself be put on a box. This is what basic people do. We try to put everyone in boxes, and don't allow people to do that to you. So if you are said, okay, no, you are too pretty to be an engineer. No, you are, because you listen to that, you are too pretty to be you doesn't look like an engineer. So how does actually an engineer looks like? Because I have no idea. So yes, can you tell me how a doctor looks like? Because I have no idea of that as well. So I invite you to be the pushy one. See, they say, no, I don't think that you can handle it. Just say, okay, test me. Give me the opportunity. I will handle it. I will show it to you. And sometimes, yes, you can feel like, and pushing, and I think that I have to be there and fight. Yes, you have to. You have to, because it's not an easy situation. You didn't choose an industry that is used to our faces. So you have to just try it. And if you feel at a certain point that it is difficult, I won't say it is going to be easy, but see each other, support the others, and you'll see. Maybe if you go to a site, you'll see another woman, and you say, "It's great! I saw another one. So it's going to be great. That is going to be amazing for you." So I invite you to be the pushy one. To be honest, from my experience.
Yeah, I just would
Very
like
good.
to.
If I, yeah,
Sorry. Just
no,
say
if
sorry.
yeah, if I can add something from the manager perspective, because it's very common that we open positions, but women do not apply for the positions. Especially, we were talking about going offshore, being on the site. That's not very common to have women, and it's not even common also that women apply for those jobs. Yeah, and I guess part of not applying is exactly the experience that Mariana was telling. That's not so easy to a woman to be there with a lot of men that are not used to that women to be there as well, so they need to adapt as well. So we need also to accomplish for that. The men, they are learning how to deal with the women in the workforce, in the management, in offshore work. So and it's really important that we do not stop ourselves of our ambitions, of our dreams, that we keep going for it. Yeah, so it's very important also that we raise our voice, that we don't let people to do whatever with us. It can be men, but it can be also other women that do things to us that we don't like, or we don't think is the right thing. We should always shout or raise our voice, yes, to say, to explain how this is important to be following a different direction that the people are taking. So and don't be afraid to take new opportunities. If you think that it's going to be challenged, it is something that will help you develop for your life, for your professional career. And the other thing I see is a problem of women not applying for those positions is this, as there is a lot of also even statistics on that if women do not fulfill 100% of the requirements, women normally do not apply for the job. And it's very often for offshore that they need someone already skilled, and then women do not take this challenge again, to learn. So it's really important that we think differently from our perspective. We think in a different way, that we need to go there, break the barriers, break the even the rules sometimes. If we see from the past, the women have been breaking rules because the rules were not the best, so we are always changing, or always adapting, always improving. And we need to continue doing that, and for sure not stopping us from what we have as perspective, as ambition, as our dreams. We need to keep pushing on that.
Yeah, I just would like to add something in Mariana and Maria Clara speech, because there is something that is very important also to mention, that there sometimes the thing that is we are most missing, that is the big lack that we have, is the opportunity. Because like sometimes the women, the female professional wants to be in the ring, want to be in the platform, want to do these experiences, but they don't have the opportunity. Because sometimes this kind of job position, they ask for 3-5 years of experience, and you don't have it because nobody never gave you this opportunity. Never, there was this gender gap never closed because the opportunity is not there. So I think that one of the things that is the biggest problem there, the thing that really separates men from women, is the opportunity. I think it's something very important for we understand when like for people who are already in senior position, managers, and for everyone, that giving opportunity for people who usually the society doesn't give the opportunity is very, very important to change this discussion, to not perpetuate this problem. We still having 2 or 1 girl in the rig if we don't have the opportunity. Mariana had this amazing experiences because in the first place, her school gave her this opportunity to go there and to fight and to show them that it's possible. But if they didn't, she never could knew that she would be so good in the rig opportunity and I think it's something that we have to take in mind. They're giving a first opportunity for females and the people who are watching here, they're most female students. It's very, very important because we are here, we are in the industry, we are in the oil and gas industry, in the energy industry, and the thing that is most missing that I can hear from my colleagues is giving real opportunities for that.
If I can add something, is that, for example, Maria Clara was saying, and it's very important to see things from different perspectives. So Maria Clara was saying from the management perspective, it is important to keep in mind or to bear in mind what you were saying, Fernanda. But sometimes, from time to time, we also need to understand that rules are probably not done for us. So the standards, the typical oil and gas industry standards, are not made for women. So it could be nice to get the opportunity straightforward. But if it is not the case, try in a different way. I mean, don't try the direct path, but take a different one to reach your point. For what I mean is, for example, on this operational side is not what I wanted. Is not what I wanted to do. I only wanted to put my feet on a rig because I wanted to understand what was going on. I mean, if they speak about tubing and casing and cementation, they give me what's going on there. I mean, really, how this actually occurs. But this is really not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a reservoir engineer, so just to be mostly in the study side. And I remember that my first professional experience in France was with the Basic Front Lab. I was a reservoir engineer. I started there as a junior reservoir engineer. And the person in charge of the department was a man. And I felt, for example, at the beginning that he didn't give me the opportunity to work in very interesting projects. I was getting the easy ones, and guys were getting the tough ones. And I just decide one day that it's okay, what's going on? I mean, I'm pretty much capable of doing this. So I knocked the door, really, I knocked the door and said, can we talk each other? I mean, I need to be honest with you. And I told him, I really need you to trust me. I really need you to be able to trust me and to give me a nice technical challenge so that I can prove you that not because I have different things with me on my bag. I was a woman. I was a foreigner. I have an accent. I didn't speak French. So it was a total package for me when I came to France. And I knocked the door and I said, you know what? Just you need to trust me. Give me a good one. And I will show you that you have to trust me. And the guy did it. He gave me a very challenging work. He gave me a very challenging project. And we did the project properly. The client was satisfied. We actually honored the deadlines. And from that time to nowadays, these guys and me, even if I don't work in Basic anymore, we keep contact. And he was always there saying, I want Mariana in the team.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you a question regarding your experience. Don't you feel you at this stage in your life when you were doing something new and trying to show I can do it, you have to work double of what your colleagues were doing?
For sure.
And that's a key. That's a key, because every time says, but how you get there? How do you manage to stay?
It doesn't matter how.
You need to work twice what they're doing, twice the work of your colleagues, and to show that you are tough, to show that you know what you're doing, to show that you have experience, that you have your background supporting you. And that's how you achieve doing stuff, but you need to work hard. And it's not something that sometimes people, I get mad with a comment that I received a couple of couple of times with, yes, because, yeah, but you have it all, Carola. Said, how's that? Sorry, I haven't. No, because with this diversity stuff, you are a woman and you are a foreigner in a French company. So you have all the doors open. Completely the opposite, I'm telling you. It's completely the opposite because nobody makes
he wasn't a woman and he wasn't foreign it either. So
of course he was a guy. He was a French guy. Nobody makes you a favor.
A good comment from a manager of mine when we were discussing with the management team about that, and she was saying, she was the boss, and then she was saying, we need to have more women, we need to have more different people, and one guy said, oh, so now we are only going to give these opportunities to these different people. And then she said, the reply was awesome. She said, yes, we have been many years just giving opportunities to men, white men, so now we are going to give opportunity to the others. So it's really important that we okay, sometimes we will need those type of measures to bring some different people, because the past has shown that if those measures are not in place, we are never going to change. So as you're saying, now you can use the good way for your side, but actually you have been suffering a long time of being out of the good opportunities. So it's I must say that I was not a fan of these measures to bring more equality, but I see that in the world we are living now, we need that. Otherwise, we will never change. It will take a long time to change. Even with those measures, it will take a long time anyway. So we need to speed that up by taking those type of measures. And one thing that I would like to raise now, just changing a little bit the subject, is about the wording. That's something that affects me a lot. And that's actually the challenge I took in the last month, this Choose to Challenge. It's about bringing this gender non-bias wording. Because it's very usual that we see, for instance, chairman or something that's related, man hours, all of these terms that are used for using the male representation in the workforce. And we actually know that now it's not really the case. So, and we haven't changed, adapt our language yet. So I've been struggling a lot with that in the last years, and I really feel that I need to continue discussing that. So would be good. What do you think about? And I can say one example of this week. I was in a meeting and a guy presented a slide written man hours, and I was the whole meeting thinking, oh, should I say, should I not? Should I say, should I not? I decided to say, because really I think it's the challenge for ourselves as women to start challenging back the men that think about that. And the feedback I got after was very good. Some of the women say, we are used to just hear that and we do not say anything, but it's good to have someone doing that. So what's your view about that?
Can you share with us now?
If we don't complain, things will never change. So I agree with you. We need to raise the voice.
Yes, and maybe sometimes, most of the time, I guess it's part of the habit and we didn't even think about it. So pointing out that is a good way to make things moving forward.
Yeah, I agree. And I also think that the language is a reflex of the society. We use everything male, something like a chairman, for example, because it's what our society see. I think that this kind of thing we also will change when we start to change the society. I think it's something that it's walk together. So yeah.
I think, Maria Clara, you did what it was right to do. People will say, I mean, what a picky person. I mean, she's going into these details. And but these actually are the details that are important. We need to be loud in a respectful manner. I mean, we don't have to insult the others and say, or being, how to say, being arrogant or anything. We just have to be calm down and to explain our point of view. So, for example, another thing that was said to me during a meeting was a client was saying that the project was good, that the results were good, that he was happy of what we got, and they were implement that and blah 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 blah. He was happy on the results, and one guy said, yes, it's because Mariana is charming.
Oh.
It's like, what the hell? I mean, it doesn't have anything to do. I mean, charming? You don't call a woman a professional charming one. No, she's clever, probably. I don't know, professional,
Competent.
or very organized. Any other kind of adjective, but not charming. Charming. What kind of professional is charming? I mean, I'm not a bird. I mean, so language is important. And I remember that I said to this guy, not during the meeting because he was with a client, so it was difficult to make the point there. But I'd invite him to come to my office and we have a point and we have a discussions. And I told him that I would like him to be the last time that he called me charming or nice or beautiful or whatever, any kind of unprofessional adjective. And not because I didn't want it to be called charming. I like that, but not in this kind of subject. I mean, not in this kind of meeting. So language is important. Language is key.
Yeah.
And as you were saying, it's going to be something that we're going to use in work, but also at home. So I try to, for example, I have a boy and a girl, and I try to say to both of them, they are intelligent, they are smart, they are clever, you are strong. You know, it's not only you say to the girl, you're beautiful. No, you are also strong. So I think this is a key point, language, and how we actually make our point on how people is going to express themselves when they speak about us.
Yeah, and I think in the other side, we have the guys, they're usually listen us to say this kind of thing. Don't say like that, it's not nice, it's sexist, this kind of term. And stop fighting. When we say that, you have to listen, because it's something that is very annoying for every woman here today. Which sometimes we are nice to correct you, to say that you are doing something that is not acceptable, and you have to listen. You don't have to contest, because it's not something that is about you, it's about us. When you do anything that offend another other person or make other person uncomfortable, you shouldn't discuss. You just shouldn't stop and think and say, I'm sorry, and okay. It's very demanding for us having this position of teaching the person, and the person doesn't accept, say there is drama, or saying that you're so picky. So it's important for the guys that are watching us today also to understand that when a colleague say that, you have to respect. You don't have to fight, because it's something that we fight every day that is way more annoying for us than it's for you to listen our complaints. So
Thank you. I think it was very nice to hear your experience, and as foreign women living in a different country. And I would like to hear as well that experience from Nawal. She's French, right? So I would like to see what does she think? How does that she experience that? She's like in her own country as well.
Yeah, it's true that for me it was and it is quite smooth at IFP school, and before I was in school in France, it was half man, half female, and then at BC Franc in my department in geosciences, actually it's from my point of view, it's quite good in terms of gender equity. I guess Mariana was at BC Franc as well, so well, maybe she has a different point of view. And also I've been here for 3 years, so it's quite recent. But it's true that I never really felt quite bad or anything because I'm a woman, but more likely, I guess, because I'm a young professional. So it's also different. Maybe it happened at some time I feel like less listened or less trust because I'm young professional or because I'm a female. I don't know, but it's true that each time that it could appear, I just say no. I know what I say, and as you said, you have sometimes to be a bit pushy and to just say I know. Otherwise, you cannot moving forward with your career, I guess. But yeah, I think that it's important when we are talking about this topic to not think that there is I guess, I think the woman on one side and the man on the other side, but we are together and we are talking about equality and not promote women, but more likely try to work together and to make women maybe more present in leadership position.
I think that if I can add something is that I like to invite everyone who is going to be taking leading positions as a woman to act as one, to avoid acting as a man. Because sometimes you get the feeling from my experience that when women achieve a leadership positions, they try to act as a man just to be accepted, just to be surrounded by the others, and so feel comfortable on the way they speak, on the way the decisions they will make, on how the opportunities are going to be offered to a certain team member, and so on. So I think it's also important that for example, from my point of view now, I'm not leading anything. I'm just a reservoir engineer and leading project management projects. I used to be a team leader, and I saw some engineers of my team to come to my office to tell me how happy they were because finally there was a women there in these positions. They were happy because women were taking leadership positions, and this is important. And we need to support each other, and we need to come to each other and to say to the others, "You are doing a great job." I remember the ones in Base they name a women also in the operations and the operations direction, and I was so happy. It was like the employment was given to me. So like, yes, finally we got one. One direction is going to be taken by a woman, and really, we have to celebrate the others. And I think the guys, they have an important role to play there. When I left, for example, BASIP, some of my male engineers that were part of my team, they came to me and they say, "Thank you, because it's the first time that I have a woman as a leader, and I learned about details, about organization, and things that men never brought to me because they did it in a different way." So we have all of us, we have things to give, we have strengths, skills, and pros and cons. So I think it's important to take this leadership position and to be a woman, still be a woman. I mean, and act as one. And even if sometimes once again people will try to put you in a box, don't even listen to them. I remember that when I have, and I will finish my comment with this particular thing. When I have my first kid, one of my colleagues, a female colleague, told me, "Oh, no worries, because you're gonna take the months to take care of your baby, and you're gonna stay at home." And I say, "No, I want to go back. I want to put this baby as soon as possible in a nursery, and I want to go back because I love what I do." And she was, she was horrified, like, "Oh, you're gonna be a bad mom, an awful mom," and I told her, I mean, this is actually a mistake. You you can't call a person a bad mom or a good mom because she's coming back to the world at a certain time, or she put the baby in a nursery, because I love to speak to adults and to work and to do my job. So I just invite you to keep this in mind, and to really, I invite you to don't allow people to put you on a box. I don't care if this person is still think that I'm a bad mom, because I'm pretty sure when I see my kiddos at night that I'm a good one, and I'm still a good professional. So really, this is something that I would like you to keep in mind.
You know, it's also depending a lot on the culture, right? In cultures like here in Europe, you can see more and more people having kids, a lot of kids coming back to work and trying to balance in life. If you go to other parts of the world, it's not quite often that you have this double life. So it's a cultural paradigm as well. So if you're in Africa, depending on the country, and you're asking, you have a team and you have 2 women that are going on maternity leave, it's not expected to them to come back to work, because everybody accept, and it's a cultural stuff that they will be, left in motherhood for some years with not coming back straight to work. And it's a cultural stuff that you need to also to adapt, and it's part of the work itself, especially when you work in international business. So you have the gender equality, I agree, and I push for it, but you also have to take into account the culture over which you are working with. It's very important.
Yeah, I would like to add something about Carola's comment, because of course today the main subject that we are discussing here is about gender diversity, but it's also very important we understand that nor all women are in the same situation. We have other factors in our society that also are types of oppressions that are different for women. We know, for example, we here have 4 Latin women, and Nawal that is French. We probably have a different perception about the gender diversity, the gender inequality than Nawal, because we know that in Europe, the gender inequality is a bit different than we had in South America, at least in my perception and my experience with my Latin colleagues. So we also have to understand that for Black women, it's harder. For Arabic women, it's harder. For Latin women, it's harder. And we have to think about that also in our work environments. There is, like for me here, that Carola here, that she have all, and people saying that for her is easier because she's Latin and women. It's so crazy because I'm 2000. Yeah, it's so crazy because I'm in 2021, and Carola has right now 20 years of career. I'm starting my career, and it's been so hard for me in 2021. I cannot even imagine how was it for her in 20 years ago, because I have this perception that everything that my life is not even close to be easy right now, but I know that it's way easier because women came before me. Because Carola did a hard job and she got this manager position, and women before her did that. So it's very important for us to understand that the gender oppression is not the only one that we are living, that we are suffering. That is a lot of cultural factors, and we have to take in account also when we are in this discussion, because yeah, I cannot be only women. Latin come together with me. I cannot cut this part of me. Sometimes I wish, but I can't. So it's very important we have this in this discussion too.
But we have to have each other's back as well. Mm-hmm. And it's part of to give up opportunities. I know, and I hear what Mariana was saying of not put ourselves in a box. You have to fight. And I agree with you. Otherwise, I would have not have been the career that I have if I have not breaking barriers every time. But you need to push, but you also need to support other females. I entered into Total a long time ago because a woman gave me the opportunity. The first manager that I have in my life was a French woman who made the interview, and she hired me. I was very grateful, and it was very challenging, but she gave me the opportunity, and I'm always thankful for that. She already retired from Total, but it's one of the things that I keep very gratitude. And this is the kind of things that if tomorrow you have an opportunity to help a friend, to help somebody, a woman, and you see the potential on that, don't hesitate. Give the opportunity. Give the opportunity to that woman that in 20 years or in 10 years, it will be a magnificent professional, for sure, because she will know that she was given an opportunity that is gold. So let's not, let's say, not be afraid to give opportunities and support each other.
And it's important also that we account for the strengths we have as women. My current manager, she always say that the women, we are taught, or I don't know if it's our culture, because we are mothers and we are taught to teach. Yeah, so basically we pass the information among ourselves, among the others. So that's a big strength we have. And as Carola is saying, we need to hold on each other. We need to help. Yeah, this sorority is so important, and that we use these strengths that we have, that we keep each other even stronger together. Yeah, so that's really important. And I just saw in the chat that I think it's João Pedro who asked how men can help on bringing more gender equality. And I think that's a very important question. And I guess the first step is already made, yeah, to ask how. And I would say that actually being open to that discussion is already a good way of helping. Being open to different ways of working, different ways of thinking, different ways of leading, that also helps. Yeah, so especially to the men that are listening us, think about the things you do and how you have done in your life, in your career path. Think how the women would have handled the same situations as you did, or if they would have different situations. So just think about different things and try to put yourself in the place that the women are. Yeah. So if someone is going through a situation, a woman that is put in a situation, think how would you handle if you had the same? Yeah. Or thinking of especially men that are parents. Yeah, so if you have a daughter, how you're going to raise her to live in this different world that we think of more gender equality. And also if you have a boy, teach them to respect the women, to help women, you know. So it's really about respecting each other's place, getting opportunities to everybody, and being open to new things, being open to different ways of thinking, different ways of working. That's really at least my advice about how you can contribute to this bigger gender equality.
Thank you. That's one of the topics I would start right now. How to, like, the strategies of how to bring enlightenment, because sometimes people do things because they don't even realize what they are doing. So in your opinion, what are the best strategies to show them?
I like to give feedback at some time, depending on the person, but that's what I'm trying to do right now on my present work. When I see some behavior or a comment or something that it's completely out of proportion in terms of, and I think it's not coming from a bad heart, you know, it's coming from the habit of saying or habit of doing something. And I make a comment and say, I mean, what you just did or what you just have said, it really affects me. I think, give feedback sometimes on the situation. I will give you an example. If you are, I have a strong character. It's part of my personality, and I think it's from my career. It has been the price to pay, but I have a strong character. If you have a strong character and you said something, and I try always to look very careful what I said, but if I get upset and I do a comment, in some guy, it's completely acceptable to say. But if it's me saying, it's no, but she did a comment that is completely out of proportion, like I was crying. And it's not the way it should be deal. If I made a comment, and it's the same for the men's, if you made a comment and I'm touched and I'm, I feel uncomfortable with what you're saying, you can say it. And you need to give feedback, and especially, but it's not because you're a woman that you cannot give feedback. So because she will cry, and that's the other comment that I know, but I'm not going to say you because you will cry. Really? I mean, come on. So yeah, give feedback if you're upset, if you think the situation is not wrong, or if it's something that could be done in a different way. Why not? Say it, express it.
You said something very important, Carola, about crying. Yeah, it's in our nature to cry, and also men sometimes freak out when seeing women crying. But it's normal. Yeah, and we are probably going to cry a lot when you normally don't cry. Yeah, men. So, and it's not an issue that we cry, actually. Yeah, so don't freak out, please. Yeah.
But what is the problem of crying? We can cry.
It's just expression of feelings.
Our hormones. Yeah, it's our body, so it's normal.
I think that society always push us to think that this is a weakness. You're sensitive, so this is a weakness. And to be honest, from my experience, is that we have to use this weakness as an advantage and a strength. Because, for example, and I'm used to work with clients. Now I'm working in the consulting company again, but in Geneva. And we are sensitive, so we can feel quickly, even if the others are sensitive, and why clients are sensitive to a particular subject and how we should present things, because we have this second, degree of feelings, because we go into the details as well. We observe women, we are very much in the observations of the others. So whatever that the society is telling us that is a weakness, actually use it as a strength.
Yeah.
And I think some managers has offered me, my current boss offered me opportunities because of this capacity of having feelings and to capture what the others may be feeling as well. So this is important.
Yeah, and I also think it's an issue about the society. I don't think the men are not emotional, they don't have emotions or they don't have feelings. I think they just were taught that they can't express that it's a weakness if they cry, it's a weakness if they show emotions, which is very bad even for them. It's not it's not a good thing for them if they always have to repress their emotions and don't express that. It's not good for them. It's a very prejudicial for mental health and a lot of factors. So we also have to understand that they're like, express emotions is not a weakness, it's normal. We are humans, we have emotions. We are not a plant, we are not a cactus, we have emotions. It's okay to have feelings, it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel sad or to feel happy. It's normal. It's just feelings. The feelings are not a weakness or a strength. It's just normal to a person. So I think it's something that it's this fear of say something to a female professional that maybe she's gonna cry. It should be something that doesn't make sense. We should understand that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but we cry and men panic. It's very funny.
I think that what I was thinking what Carola said, I try to apply, it's called, you may know, the non-violent communication. And I think that because when I get to BSIP, a few months after, I had a guy told me something that I didn't like, and I get a bit mad. I was upset, and I felt a bit stupid after. And since that time, I feel that I when I feel upset or when I have to say something, I say it. I say you said that, and it makes me feel. It looks a bit strange, but at the end, it's nice, and it's a bit shows the example, because now with my closest colleague, we say when we feel something, when we need something, and I guess that it makes the relation more smooth. And even actually men say, the closest male colleagues say what they feel and how they are. And it makes relationship really nice at work and really equal.
Yeah, it also works with women as well. It doesn't have to be only with guys.
Yeah, and with women as well, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know, but for the young professionals or the students that maybe listen to us, another thing is that I remember once in Kuwait, I was like that was in 2011, so I had like 2 or 3 years of experience. I went to clients' offices to present some well test results, and there was a panel of I don't know how many guys, all men. I presented the results, and one of the guys took me to his office, and he said, like, I don't agree with you, I disagree with you, I don't like the model that you are proposing, and this and this and that. And I told him, I was trying to explain to him that this wasn't my model, that I did a job, that it was revised by my supervisor, that this is what we think, that, but obviously other models were possible, and blah, blah. I was trying to be the most, really polite. The guy stand up, and he locked down the door of the offices. So I was quite scared. So what's going on? I mean, the guy is closing the door, and he started to yell, like, no, I don't trust you. You're a woman, Jean. And then he completely freaked out. So I have two options. So I said to myself, or I cry because I'm really nervous because I'm locked down in an office, or I realized that I was taller than the guy. The guy he was small. He was, I was taller than him. So what I decided to do is, instead of crying, I stood up, and he suddenly had to speak to me like this. It's like, yes, I don't agree with your model, and this effect of he has to talk to me on this way. He changed everything. So he sat down, he calmed down. We discussed about the model. I told him what I think, and this and this and that. And at the end, he opened the door. He said, "Okay, thank you very much. Bye, thank you." And I was like, oh. At the end, I was really afraid, and then I was nervous. I was really young, and it was my first time, I think, in an Arabic country, and it was difficult for me. And what I'm trying to say with this example is that even in those situations in which probably crying is the only solution, and even if I cry, I think the guy will be, he will open the door, he will let me go. We can probably solve the situation differently. And what I say is that you are going to face things that are going to be difficult, and then probably I'm going to make you cry. But it doesn't matter. It's gonna help you. It's gonna push you to move forward, and it's gonna be part of the experience. And what I invite you to do as a young professional is, don't let people try to humiliate what you think just because you're young. You're a young woman as well, so even worse for them. So defend your ideas. If you are sure of your work and the quality of the thing that you are doing, do it in a respectful way. I mean, you can explain what you have done, explain your work, and especially, I think, when you are young, say to the others, I mean, this is not only my work. I have a team, This is a part of a teamwork and blah, 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 blah. And you can support with your team. And even if it looks not what we should do, from time to time, it's good to say to this man, I discussed it with this guy. So, as I mean, this guy is also in agreement with me. And probably it's not because we need this guy's support that the other men have to accept. It's only to advise you to face the situation in a smart way. And I think doors are going to be closed from time to time. People are going to tell you that you are not capable of things. But as Carola was saying, you have to be tough. You have to fight. You have to be strong. You have to work twice or 3 times more than other, but do it. I swear to God that it worth it. It's worth it. At the end of the day, you're going to bed and you are proud of yourself because you're trying it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy and it's going to be, I mean, from time to time, just like, okay, you know what, I'm going to stay at home. But no, I mean, you really have to try it. I invite all Johns listen to us to try it. And if you need any advice and you see any woman in your workplace that can advise you on how to face a particular manager, a male manager or female manager, whatever, that it can be tough to you, go and ask for an advice, look for support. I think it's the best that we can do.
You know, the problem of not having the confidence to talk on a new job in a new country, it can be for a guy, it can be for a girl. It's worse when we're a girl because that's what happened to me as well. But I think if you're young and you're just getting out of college in a new environment, you're afraid, you have insecurities, and I know you're right, but it's difficult to challenge to prove to the person in front of you that they need to have some confidence in you and that to prove that you're right. It's not very easy, but it's achievable. It's achievable 100% of the times.
Yeah, and I think it's also something that you build with the time, because I think nobody here born with like a high self-confidence. It's normal, especially for us. There are women there. We are kind of taught like in our whole life that we are not in the same position and etc. It's not easy. So the self-confidence, it's something that we build, but it's something that we have to build. We have to work on it for one day to be so self-confident at points of like the stories that Mariana and Carola are telling us. And for that, we have to try somehow, if you are working with a guy and this guy are yelling to you, like in my point of view, you should yell back. You shouldn't like let someone disrespect you and just sit down and wait the person and cry and run. You have to try to fight somehow too. I know it's very hard to broke this this part like on you and this confidence on you, but you have to stop always to wait that, and that one day will come. You have to start acting also. I think you should to take action. You should talk. If you have an opinion about something, if you study something, you did part of a project and you have your point of view, you shouldn't be afraid of share. And sometimes the guy is not going to listen to you just because you're a girl. I can tell that. I suffered that a lot of times in my life. I can tell a lot of times, really. But you should show your point of view. You shouldn't be afraid of showing your point of view or showing that you're a good professional, that you have your point, you have your own perspective, your own approaches. And one day, if you're still keeping this good job, people will, with time, accepting it time more, and it will be better for next generations. And I think it's a work that we have to do during our life. It's a continuous work. As Mariana and Carol say, it's not going to be easy, but it's something that we have to do. We don't have choice.
Don't let the deaf people discourage you. When you say something in a meeting, as Fernanda was saying, and you give your idea, and you know that it's a great idea, nobody listen. And 2 minutes later, somebody in the same meeting say, by the way, I have an idea. And it's the same idea that you just expressed, but nobody listened to you. And now they're applauding the guy 2 minutes after. I mean, It happened. It happened
A
to me
lot.
so many times, and it's so annoying. But don't be discouraged by that. You're gonna get there.
It's funny you say that, because it's happened a lot of times in my life, and sometimes I think I'm crazy because I just say that with the same words. Why he just repeat that and everybody's listening? Like, it's happened a lot. It's crazy, but yeah, it's happened a lot.
And my advice is never give up. Yeah.
No, don't give up.
Don't stop doing what you do because of that. Yeah, because we will face a lot of challenges for the young people, especially the young women. Yeah, you face so much. I was reflecting here about my career, 20 years, what has changed, and I honestly don't see much has changed. Maybe I guess the big change is that now we can start talking about that. That was not so common 20 years ago. Yeah, and so don't give up and continue doing what you do. Show your worth. Sometimes, as we were saying, we need to show twice as much as another guy, but don't give up. Yeah, just continue doing, and sometime some people will see. Yeah, and that's really what we are working for. We have come the ones that have been more time in the industry. I would say we have this duty to make this happen, that for this young generation they will not suffer as much as we did. And so please don't just stop doing anything. Just continue, and keep your dreams, keep your passion, and keep your emotions. Yeah, it's not a problem at all. So be yourself. I guess that's really the best thing. And continuous improvement is also very important. So if you see something that can be improved, go for it as well. Yeah, but do not let people tell you what you need to do. Yeah, you must go for yourself, for your own dreams of what you think is the best option for you. Yeah.
And I would like to just add something, and also a message for the boys that are watching us, the men that are watching us. There is no point of a life that you cannot help. You can help when you're students, you can help when you're graduates, you can help when you're a manager. These fights, that is a place for helping everywhere. If you are in the school when you're part of a student chapter, also invite female professionals to give lectures. Don't invite just men, because for me, I don't know if you noticed that right now we see a lot of discussions about gender equality. So they invite, so usually not student chapters, but everywhere, Congress, they invite female professionals to talk about diversity, but it's still extremely rare. They invite these female professionals to talk their technical backgrounds, to talk about their expertises. So it's very important. Also, you give this kind of voice. It's just one suggestion about what you can do in a student level. And when you go for the company and maybe you are a graduate and you see that was open a new graduate position, I know that the 5 first options in your head will be your white male colleagues, but try also to give a try for your female colleagues, your Black colleagues. It will be so harder for them to get this opportunity. So if you can share the CV of your colleague, even if you're a graduate, if you can help anywhere, it's very important too. If you're a manager, try to put more diversity in your team. If your team just have white men, it's a problem. It's not good for your team. Your team can be way more efficient, way more innovative if you can bring diversity in that. So in all levels of our society, we can do something. Boys and girls, men and women, we can do things for change this reality. Don't think that just because you're a student, you cannot help. You can help. Even listen to us. Like, if you don't stop doing these kind of things that we are saying here today, to correct us when you say that something is not nice, to repeat the ideas that we just gave 5 minutes ago, which happened even in the school, which doesn't happen just in the office. It's also happened when you're doing academic work in the school. So try to rethink your actions and try to see how you can help in your environments. Everybody can do something.
Thank you very much, everyone. It's been a great discussion. I'm very inspired right now. I think we can move for the questions and answers. We have a question here from Nargis. She said, my question is about the 50-50 policy. Among the amount of male and female accepted candidates should be the same. I have heard that some companies have it during recruitment. Do you think it is efficient? Because from one side, it is good that women are given opportunities, but from the other side, some people may still be cut because of their gender. So what do you guys think?
I can start. In Equinor, we do have a KPI for diversity in all teams. So we need to have diversity in all the aspects of the spectrum that the diversity is considered. And as I said before, I think it's necessary that we do have those policies right now, because we have seen the world hasn't changed until now. And even with those policies, it will take a long time to change. So it's not only about gender equality, but all the aspects that bring diversity. And diversity is really, really important, as is already shown by McKinsey. Yeah, we have an improvement in terms of economics if we bring more diversity. So it's really important that we take those type of actions. And of course, other people might feel that they will not have an opportunity, but still is trying to give the equal opportunities to everybody. Yeah, so it's a very important measure.
Yeah, I would like to add something too, because when you talk about gender equality, I don't know why people think that is a pie. They're like, if a woman receive a piece of the pie, it's not gonna remain the rest of the pie for the guys, but it's not how it works. When you have more rights for women, it doesn't mean less rights for men. It just means that we are right now being included in the most part of the history of the humanity. Women were not included, and right now we are including. So it doesn't mean that men's not going to have opportunities. It's just mean that right now we're going to have more opportunities that we include women too. And I don't think that men's not going to have opportunities because these 50-50 policies, because before was 100% policy for men, and the only thing that's going to happen right now, we're going to have to put more efforts. Carola said that, Mariana said that, and I think everybody here agrees. Therefore, getting in the companies or getting the opportunities to have to do twice of the job, three times the job. So it just means that for getting the opportunity, you have to put more effort. Doesn't mean that you're not going to have opportunities if you're a man in the case.
Thank you. Guys, if you have more questions, you can type your questions on the chat. Nargis is thanking for the answer.
I think that the question of the recruitment is true what they were Fernanda and Claire were saying. You know, all the companies have KPI in total. They don't keep the KPI, especially on recruitment, but more in like executive positions in terms of managers, middle managers. So how much is the percentage of women in a middle and executive positions, not entirely recruitment, because you see more women being at this stage. I mean, for coming out of college like you are now, and trying to get into oil companies like Total, you see more now than before. I mean, there's a lot of more young students that are women. I know it's not enough still, but there's more now than we used to have before. And you look at the proportions, and it's quite a game change. It will take some years to be more equal. So even if I think that the 50-50, okay, it will never go 50-50 in terms of recruiting, because there are not enough women applying for jobs. So that's part of the problem. But still, now it's better than before, much better than before. So just keep optimistic and keep working, and you're gonna have the position that you want to.
Yeah, no, and I thought just to clarify that Equinor, we do have these KPIs, but not on recruitment as well. Yeah, so it's on the teams itself. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's not directly in the recruitment, but in any case, it's really important that we have women applying. Yeah, we have men applying. That we find good people to work. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. It's been a great discussion. I would like to ask you, all the participants, to turn on their cameras so we can take a group picture with everyone.
During this moment in which people is turning off the cameras, I like to say something that I read from a comedian. It's a girl, and she wrote down, show to the world that your skirts are short, but not your ideas. So keep that in mind. Don't ever want to put you in a box because you are using a skirt or whatever, or makeup, that your ideas are not good enough. So keep fighting. That's what I will say. Keep being yourself as a woman and taking positions, and as Carola was saying, helping the others.
Okay, I guess everybody's still turning on their cameras.
Yes. For this moment, I would like just to thank you, Ayani, and people from IGE and APG for this great initiative. I'm very happy to see that you are doing this kind of events here in IFP, because we know how hard is it to bring this discussion for environments that usually is male dominated. So it's very, very important you have this kind of initiative. And I hope there it keeps for the next years as an example, this kind of event for next year, the next student chapter, redo this and always bring this discussion that is very important for our industry.
Thank you everybody for joining us.
No, thank you for inviting us. It was a pleasure to share opinion and experience with all of you. I have the great pleasure to participate in one of the Fernanda's program in Brazil with young technicians in university. It's very gratifying to see that these programs not only are referred to middle or university school, but also in higher levels.
Yeah. Thank you. So
yes,
everybody,
I would like to
smile
thank as
for the
well
picture.
for this Ayane for this call, and just a final saying: never give up. Yeah, ladies, keep working, keep tough, and let's go together.
Yeah, someone was just writing in the chat how to balance the family and the professional life. Don't listen to the others. Don't let anyone to tell you if you are a good professional or a good mom, or who are they to judge you? I mean, how they can know if you are good or not? So keep moving forward and do your best. And anyway, I got two kiddos. I'm the only one then they know. They think they got the best. So just move forward with that. I mean, you have to continue move on. And even for those who are listening, that you don't want a kid right now. If you don't want a kid, you don't want it. It's not because you're a woman and you have to have kids. This is what society is expecting from you. No, be yourself. And as the other were saying, fight for your dreams, for what you're really, what you really want, what you really want as a person, as a human being. And then you move forward and you'll see the water will flow, really.
And tell yourself every morning how fantastic you are. Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter if the others say she's very arrogant. It doesn't matter. Look to the mirror and say, I'm great. I'm great. I'm doing a great job. I'm doing an amazing job. I mean, if we don't love to ourselves, who is going to love you? So look to the mirror and say, you are great. Because you are. Because we are. And now you can take the picture.
Yeah. Let's smile, guys.
Smile, everyone. Wait. And another one just to make sure we have a good one. Okay, that was it. And once again, thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And
thank you.
Thank you.
It's been great.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
It was a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh.